Lurch is, and I just want to let everybody know that he is a official corrupt ticket scalper.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Official, you know damn well what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Lurch has officially got rid of some of his values, and he has
not completely. I kept a few of them. I'll explain.
Well, I don't know if this can be explained, dude. But you did enter a different area of your life with this. Now, I just want to say, Lurch decided that he was going to get in on the Taylor Swift, whatever you want to call it, circus is what I'll call it. It's a circus. And Lurch bought up a bunch of tickets and then decided that not only did he take the tickets, because he's not going. No, he's not going. He's
never.
not a Taylor Swift fan.
Not at all.
But he thought he would, now there are kids, that really, really wanted to go see Taylor Swift.
My niece and her friends.
Right. Yeah. So Lurch, in his thinking, is pretty much this is what Lurch said.
I can tell you what I said. You can make it up and then I'll clean it up.
Lurch is going to say, fuck everybody else in the world. I'm going to take care of me and my family. And I don't care if I trample on innocent little girls, that maybe can't afford or less well-to-do, that really, it might have been their only life chance to see Taylor Swift. And you stole it. You stole it.
Too bad.
Right out from under him.
No,
What if it was one of the wishes for dreams, dude? And you stole it straight out from under him. And then Lurch goes on, and he's part. You guys saw this on the news. Lurch is part of the reason the system got effed.
No, I'm not. I didn't. I don't have any robots or bots. And stupid Ticketmaster released the whole tour for the whole, all of them, all at once.
Right. So Lurch is going to try to explain this away. But he did sell the tickets for a lot more than they were originally worth. And because of Lurch, I'm just going to end it here. Because of Lurch, there are some little girls out there that are crying.
Might be.
And sad. And Lurch is the one at the end of the day, everybody, that has to get up, look at himself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of me.
Yeah, I'm going to do more of this, I think. You and I have been victims of this. We paid double for our Pearl Jam tickets a few years ago.
We got, we had to buy them on frickin' eBay at like double the price at least.
My wife had pre-sale notice for Taylor Swift, and my niece did too. And we were logged on when the whole thing crashed. We thought, oh crap. Mm-hmm. But then we got notifications that, like 3 hours later, they were going to bring it back up. And she was able to buy 4 under her pre-sale. And I thought, I got in, why not buy 4 under mine?
Right.
So
why not screw some more people?
Absolutely.
Right. It's all about screwing people.
Somebody bought them.
Right. They did.
So there's 4 people that are still going. They're just paying a little bit more than I did.
A little bit more.
I was very reasonable. You should have seen the price. Oh, there was.
Is that what the thief says when he says, I only stole a reasonable amount of merchandise?
This is capitalism at its best, buddy. I bought it and already sold it. This is all above board.
By the way, Lurch had no idea I was going to bring this up.
No, I didn't.
On this podcast. I think he knew at some point.
It was going to come up sometime.
But this has been a while.
Yeah. Well, hey, here's the deal. I bought 8, sold 4, and I paid for them all. So my niece and her 3 friends are going for free.
Yep. So you basically, what I said, took care of your family and said, fuck off to everybody else.
Yeah.
All right, done.
But at least I do have some standards. There's people asking 3 times what I asked for mine, but mine sold within a day because I had a low price on them.
If that
low considered, it was
right.
Still, I couldn't believe people bought them to begin with, but
well,
yeah.
And as long as you keep telling yourself that's your justification is that, hey, I did screw a lot of people, but I didn't screw them as bad as I could have screwed them. If that's how you sleep.
Absolutely. Here's the deal. I bought a product, I marked it up, I resold it.
That's true. Mm-hmm. All right, dude. There you go. There's a story. So if you're out there listening and your child couldn't get a Taylor Swift ticket, well, it's because of Lurch.
Well, somebody else's kids did some tough shit.
Send them an email. Bitch them out. You want to know how to have a fresh smelling and squeaky clean butt before riding? Lurch? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you how. Get hooked up right now with the Dude Wipes flushable wet wipes. Oh, yeah. Your butt will smell like a breath of fresh air. Just, you'll feel the wind, but it will smell fresh. Your hair will go back, but it's a breath of fresh air. Oh. And you guys can support us right now if you want your arse to smell as good as ours. If you want to have an arse that smells as good as Lurch and I, well, then you can support us and you can have it. It's obtainable.
Oh, yeah.
Over at lawabidingbiker.com/fresh-butt. That's /fresh-butt, BUTT. No additional cost to you, but we do get a small commission if you click through and make a purchase. It does help support us. It's like crop dusting. It'll smell like a mint field, like crop dust in a mint field. We do highly recommend the mint version. The original are okay.
They serve their purpose.
They do.
They don't have the mint scent.
True. The mint just really gets you going. You just hop up off the pot. You feel like you want to skip along singing doo-wah-diddy. Diddy-dum, diddy-do. All right. Hey, this is exciting. Here you go, bikers. We all know that unexpected things can happen. Now, many of us are prepared for mechanical issues with, of course, our cruise tools, roadside emergency repair kits, right? The ones that got in the law-abiding biker store, of course. But a more serious than a motorcycle breakdown, speaking of wet wipes, is an injury to someone on here, because we add this, yes, particular product, yes. More serious than a motorcycle breakdown is an injury to you or someone you are riding with. Now, why would you risk not being prepared for that, bikeaholics? And that's why we brought right now to the Law Abiding Biker store the very first LAB first aid and trauma kit at a very affordable price. So we've given you no reason not to be prepared with this small and easily storable biker prepared first aid kit. Yep, we really thought this biker first aid kit out to make sure it had the necessities, of course, without overdoing it to keep it small, because you can get out of control. And we saw some of that online. The kit comes with everything you need, such as a plethora of different size bandages, gauze, compression dressing, medical tape, latex gloves, whistle, scissors, rescue blanket, and more importantly, a military tourniquet that can save a life. And all of these items are inside a very tightly packed tactical nylon MOLLE bag, measuring only 8x4x4. And best of all is that our design kit is biker approved, biker tested, because it has our name right on the outside of the kit. This is not something you should have. This is not something you should have with you at all times, but a must-have at all times. Get the Law Abiding Biker First Aid and Trauma Kit right in the Law Abiding Biker store. If you end up using it, please shoot us a story about it. We'd love to hear that. We are selling the bejesus out of those things. We sold them so fast. We have, at the time of this podcast, we have more coming. We're going to try to stay ahead of stock, but they are an awesome little kit, stowable, just what you need, not any more than that. And again, that affordable price. But don't worry, we've got more coming, and you can pre-order or back order, basically.
It's got a pre-sale going right now
pre-sale.
On the order that's coming in, and I'm going to have to place another order and get even more coming.
Yeah, we're
going to up the size of the order too this time.
Good. We're going to stay on top of them, guys, and we appreciate your support because you guys are the ones buying them. But we really do think it's like the perfect kit for a biker, whether it's adventure, off-road, or street. We're carrying them on both. And it took us a while. We had been requested for years to get those in the store. So we took some time and found the one that we think is the best for everybody that's obtainable and realistic. So over in the Law Abiding Biker store, we appreciate it very much. And if you don't have the coin for it right now. Well, it's no big deal because integrated right into the Law Abiding Biker Store is shop pay installments. So if you need a kit, you don't have the coin for it right now or anything else while you're over there, that's right. You now have the option to buy products right now, knowing you can pay in those 4 equal payments interest-free. Shop pay installments, you asked, we put it in there. I think we should...
I got mail. Yay! I got mail. Yay!
Take a listen to this.
Let's do it.
I just watched the video for my Harley-Davidson touring ignition switch. It was acting up. Well, I changed handlebars, and then it got all screwed up from there. Anyway, your video, I had to get into it to realign everything. And if it wasn't for your video, I couldn't do it. Thank you. I am going to become a member.
Yeah, buddy, another patron member. We don't even know who that's from, but thank you very much for Redacted, whoever left that voicemail. We appreciate it. He did that right over at lawabidingbiker.com/contact or /voicemail. Either way, we'll get you there. You can leave a voicemail right from your computer. That was from
SpeakPipe.
Okay. Yeah, that was from our contact page. Yep. You can leave a voicemail. You can also we have a phone number right here. And if you're using the Law Abiding Biker app, the phone number, you just hit the phone button. You can literally leave us a voicemail. That simple. If you want, we haven't said this in a while. If you want to leave a voicemail and you don't want to use your computer microphone, you can use your phone microphone on our contact page too. But if you're just old school and you really like to dial a number, then 509-731-3548. That's 509-731-3548. And you can leave us a voicemail old school that way right on your phone. We, again, if you're using the app, it is integrated right into our app. There's a call button. So we appreciate it very much. Do you want to say anything else about that voicemail?
Well, I'd just like to say that you're welcome that I broke Ryan's ignition or screwed it up anyways so that we could do a video to fix it. But
True.
All kidding aside, I appreciate him taking the time to leave that voicemail for us because for me, and I know for you, that type of appreciation and response is what keeps us going to make content because it could be really easy for us just to fix your ignition and throw it back on, but take the time to film it and help other bikers.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
I had to figure all that out. It took me days and I figured it out and we figured it out for you guys and then shot it.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where he's probably at home, gets it all screwed up, and like, damn, what am I going to do? Gets on the internet.
Get on the tube,
There's a great video by you. So thanks for taking the time to let us know. We appreciate that feedback.
Want to ride longer? Tired of a sore and achy ass? Then fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Hey, Bikeaholics. 03D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of 03D products. Oh, yeah. Once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless. With a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Again, head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Here we go, guys. Got an awesome episode. I'm looking forward to talking about this. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By being here, by listening, you're part of what we call
the hashtag Biker Revolution.
Lurch. He's got just one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
There you go, guys. We're going to get right into it. Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast, and of course, your
high-tech redneck.
There you go. He is in the house right here. Nicely done. So, the main topic today, which we're going to dive in, we've got just a few things that you'll want to know about because we're always putting out content and all kinds of craziness. But main topic, exclusive Harley King of the Baggers access we're going to give you. My Arizona trackside. I got, we'll talk a little bit in deeper about it, but Harley afforded me the opportunity to go down to Arizona recently, and I got to spend a trackside. They were practicing and tweaking bikes. Anyways, we're going to dive in deep of that. A lot of things, I think, in this episode that, if you've ever been curious at all about King of the Baggers and you're not sure exactly what it's about or what it entails, or, I think this episode will be good. Of course, we did a video on it. Is that in here anywhere, Lurch? It will be in the show notes at any rate. But I did a full video of it. It's already released on YouTube. If you like that side of it and you want to see it's a little more succinct, but we'll probably talk about, actually, like usual, the podcast will talk about more stuff that just simply would make a video too long. So anyways, if you've ever been curious about it, I'm going to give you a lot of inside stuff, and I think it is something to get very excited about. I'm excited about it, and this excited me more about it, honestly. To where I'm actually going to, follow it more closely this year, and I'm excited for the races, and it just gave me a whole different perspective on what it's about, and hopefully it will do the same for you, because I think it's, brings attention to the sport of motorcycling. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a moment. Do you want to announce a new free video, Lurch?
Absolutely. This new free video is Install Harley Audio by Rockford Fosgate on a Harley Touring 2014 to present Street Glide, Road Glide, and Electra. It is lawabidingbiker.com/Harley-Rockford. We got our hands on the new Rockford Fosgate made in partnership with Harley. So this is Harley branded, co-branded, if you will. We had a full system. We did 2 amplifiers, 2 fairing speakers, 2 saddlebag speakers, which included swapping out the lids so that they would hold the speakers, then 2 subwoofers, and we show you how to do that installation. You get those instructions, and they can be a little bit difficult, even the best ones. But with our video, we put it together in a way that's easy for you. No matter how much of the system you have, if you just got 2 speakers and amp, or all the way like we did, 2 amplifiers and 6 speakers, we got you covered.
Yep. Well said. lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number this is how you get all the links and show notes and everything we talk about in our episodes. Always, if you want the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number it is. And that system booms, and Lurch has been enjoying it on his
Makes me feel
bike.
10 years younger, at least. A little less gray hair.
Yeah, buddy. Now, we appreciate our sponsors up front, our regular sponsors and all that, but these folks are also a direct reason these episodes are still coming to you after 10 years. Some of our newest patrons we want to thank. I want to start with Kevin L. Bosch of Centerville, Tennessee, Ron Reeve of Lehigh, Utah, and Sean Balsamello of Williston, Florida.
We've got Renita Shorty Beatty of Chattanooga, Tennessee, Derek Gallen of Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. I don't know, is it Regina or Regina? I don't know.
You choose. Sorry,
and Chris Landmark
Regina.
of New Prague, Minnesota. The last 2 are top tier.
All right. That's right, guys. Very easy. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you, because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits such as T-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, which is a troll-free zone. It really is nothing but bikers helping and connecting with other bikers in there. Store coupon codes, access to podcasts early, months before everybody else gets them, like this one. This is going to go in the back end of your patron accounts, all you members, and you'll literally get it months before it comes out in regular podcast to the regular listening audience. Of course, access to live video broadcasts and chat, premium videos up on request, and of course, access to those ride, meetup, and events. Not only our main meetup and events, but like this year we're doing one, our meetup, and this also, the patron members are also, what I want to say is
unsanctioned
events. Thank you. Putting together rides in there. So there you go, guys. We definitely appreciate each and every one of you. It's that simple. Sign up. You're helping us. And of course, we're giving you a bunch of benefits for being members, and we continue to ramp that up. And hopefully you guys are enjoying those or taking advantage of those benefits in your patron accounts. That's where you want to go, to see what's coming out, and what you, depending on what level you are, you'll see what you have access to. And I think one of the biggest one is the live video broadcast and chat that you'll see back there, and then the podcast, early release podcasts, and you can play them. There's a player right there in the Patreon app where you can listen to that. That's how it works? Yeah, we actually upload the audio right there. So,
and then like you mentioned, the private Facebook group just for the patrons, that thing's grown into something I'm not sure, at least I didn't expect. It's a serious community, and the patrons are getting together. They're finding riding partners. They're creating events. What we joke about, the unsanctioned events, or several of those go on every year. It's just turned into something really cool.
Yep, really has. Amazing. So all of you in the private Facebook group knew I was going down there for sure to Arizona. And so we're going to dive in here, and let me see if I can pull up our notes here, Lurch. We're done with that. All right. So where did it go?
Searching.
Oh, there it is.
Searching.
Look at there. I think I want to pull it up in the regular. Oh, I have it right here, the regular Evernote, because it's easier for me to get through. So, so Hardy this was now, I just want to start by saying this was a real wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type of trip here.
Down and back.
And it was kind of a bit last minute. And I don't know what Harley had going on as far as that. They've got a lot going on as far as PR and marketing. And so I think I had about 2 weeks notice for this. One of my main contacts at Harley-Davidson hit me up and said, hey, would you be interested in a couple weeks going down to King of the Baggers? Of course, our main riders for Harley factory riders, Kyle Wyman and Travis, they're brothers, the Wymans, Kyle Wyman and Travis Wyman. And of course, the entire Harley-Davidson, team that's behind King of the Baggers. So they were going to be down at Podium Club Racetrack, which is just outside of Casa Grande, Arizona. That's about 45 minutes south of Arizona. And once you get to Casa Grande,
Phoenix.
Or sorry, what did I say?
Arizona.
Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
And then the track is, about 10 minutes southwest of Casa Grande. Casa Grande. So, of course, I looked at my schedule and I'm like, yeah, bam, that sounds great. And so they were going to be training down there is what I was told. They had the track for a week down there, and they were going to be, dialing the bikes in, because this is preseason. This is preseason for King of the Baggers. And so obviously the race team's got to, dust the cobwebs off and figure things out. And of course they've been, working on the bikes and designing, new versions of the 2022 model for the 2023, things they've learned, tweaks they want to make. And of course, then they got to get it into actual trackside and figure out, is this new stuff working? Make sure the riders are comfortable with everything. Anyways, it's quite an experience. And so that's what I kind of was told, generally speaking, that I was going down to see. I was basically going to spend one day with them on the track. And so it was fly down one day. And then what were the dates on this list?
The 14th to the 16th of February. So you were you flew out on Valentine's Day, but luckily a smart man who's been married for a while, got everything in place before you left, right?
Yeah. Yeah. 14th through the 16th, right?
Yep.
Yes, I did. Well said.
Middle of winter for us up here. Hopefully you'd hope it'd be nice and warm when you're down there.
Yes.
Get a break from the cold weather.
Well, that's what one would hope in Arizona, especially. So yeah, it's been a rough winter up here. And so looking at Arizona, I was excited for the trip, obviously for the opportunity that was given to me, but I was also hoping that I could get a couple days of warm, maybe even 60s, weather
at a minimum, 70s maybe.
Yeah,
it'd been at or below freezing, or maybe slightly above here and there up here. So you were hoping for some warmer weather.
Yep. I'll get a little more into the weather when I got down there, but I did look, and it was looking unseasonable for this area of Arizona. So that came true, which we'll talk about. But and so Lurch, I really wanted to film this, and it was, like I say, it was a last minute thing. Of course, I would have liked to take Lurch down. Whenever I'm doing, of course, while I'm going down, I'm not just going to go down there and, Hardy's not inviting me down there to just sit on my thumbs. so to speak. They know that, we're a YouTube channel and huge motorcycle podcast. And so they're expecting, obviously that I'm going to go down there and I'm going to, make a film, if you will, or a video out of my experience there. So it is always nice to have a second hand when you're filming, especially when you're running and gunning like this. Like I didn't have 3 days with these guys to casually get the shots and the B-roll that I needed and interviews. This was the very rapid head spinning type of film making and trying to gather. So I obviously took some very specific equipment and I was really just at the whim. And remember, I think the other thing I'll say is, we were at the whim of the riders and the race team. And I didn't know exactly, I mean, they don't give you a lot of detail hardly on this. It was just like, hey, but I knew that we were going to be in their world.
Right.
And stepping around them.
Yeah, they were down there to get the bikes ready for the upcoming season, not necessarily, be a dog and pony show for you, right?
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
They had a job to do. And It was getting the bikes ready.
Yeah, it was not to
entertain you.
Help my video. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's clear. So we got everything together. I made it happen, and I knew it was going to be crazy. So I flew down there. I guess Lurch said it was the 14th. Yep. It was a late flight. It was delayed an hour. I flew from Yakima to Seattle SeaTac Airport. I had a layover, and then my flight was delayed
out of Seattle
an hour, and that's because they couldn't land very many planes in Phoenix due to snow and rain and just severe weather.
And they probably don't have plow trucks down there.
I would doubt it. I would doubt it. And they told us they couldn't get as many flights landed. It was really delaying them. So I got in late, and my driver picked me up because then they had to shuttle me 45 minutes to the south to Casa Grande to the hotel that Harley put me up in. And I literally got down there. It was like 11 or something. I don't remember the exact times, but it was literally like 11 at night. So I still had to unpack, make sure film gear was charged. I think I got into bed a little bit after midnight. And then it was up very early at like 6 a.m. And of course, I didn't get much sleep because I'm stressed about
thinking about all the stuff.
Yeah, like
all your equipment and
where am I going and what am I going to have access to and how am I going to, if this happens, how am I going to do this? I mean, I take this stuff pretty serious.
You like to go into it with some type of plan. You start working on your story ahead of time and thinking about how you're going to lay it all out. And so the uncertainty of how the day was going to go, I imagine, was a little stressful for you.
Yes, it was. And I do have a basic story. Sometimes it's not even a story. I have a basic idea, but honestly, I've never followed in any of the films I've made or documentaries. I've never actually followed, you have an overall general, but then you let the story kind of tell itself. And then I try to figure it out, if that makes sense. But yes, try to get like certain shots. And there are certain things that I know I need to tell any story about King of the Baggers. Like I know I need shots of this. I know I need shots of that. And then some of the other stuff kind of tends to fall into place, so to speak. But we're up early. And, when I got into Casa Grande, it was raining like cats and dogs. When I flew into Arizona, when I flew into Phoenix, dude, you would not, I thought I was landing like in whatever state of your choosing, that would have a lot of snow. It was complete out. My airplane window was complete whiteout, like snowing sideways, like Star Wars type stuff. You couldn't see a thing. The clouds were low. So it wasn't that long, before we broke through the clouds and could see the airstrip before we landed. It was just one of those blind type instrument. I'm sure they use instruments for that. Yeah. I was like, I thought they said I was going to Arizona. I don't feel like this is Arizona.
It feels like Minnesota or something.
Yeah, there you go. That would be a good state of choosing. But it was in fact Arizona, and then it was just raining, and they're not, I don't think they, obviously are set up for rain as much as us or different places, because the standing water on roadways was insanity. Like the drains couldn't keep up. I mean, that happens at everywhere, but
the soil down there is just, it doesn't get the moisture consistently like we do up here, and it doesn't seem to absorb
You're right.
And when it downpours, when it rains down there, it dumps a lot all at once, and the ground and then the infrastructure just can't keep up with it. It almost guaranteed to be some serious flooding.
Yep. And that is what it looked like it was doing. So we got up the next morning. It was so down there was only 2 influencers invited, if you will, influencers or YouTubers or creators, whatever you want to call us. Blockhead was the other one. Yeah, I know there's lots of things you can call us. I was actually going to say it. But Blockhead was down there. So it was just us 2 invited to this particular trackside day preseason. And I didn't see him that night, obviously, but we've done some videos in the past together. You guys have seen him on his channel, on my channel. But we did go to breakfast the next morning with our main Harley contact. There was one other standard, old school moto journalist guy there, super nice. But that was just the 3 of us. And so we went with our contact, Jennifer from Harley-Davidson, and went to breakfast, and it was cold. Yeah, guys, 32 degrees. And now that's what we're used to here.
Yeah. But you almost didn't take your winter jacket with you, your
right.
puppy jacket. It's a good thing you stuffed that last minute.
It is. Me and Lurch were packing, and I took my heated vest, but I was thinking just a sweatshirt and stuff. Then the more we looked at the weather, I took my North Face puffy jacket because I was like, and thank God you're right. Thank God I took that, because that jacket I wore all day, never took it off, and kept my heated vest on. I took multiple batteries. Lurch at the last minute, I was like, should I do it? And we decided it stuffs pretty easy, and so it's a thin one, but warm. And we stuffed it in my gear. And so 32 degrees. It was about 34 when we showed up trackside.
Perfect racing weather.
Oh, yeah, just money, dude. And Podium Club Racetrack is what it's called. If you haven't looked it up, it's a fairly new track. When you look at it on Google Maps, it's amazing because they took that probably a year ago, and it's like fresh. Like you can see the fresh pavement. Like you're like, wow, that's a really nice track. But it's not super developed yet. So what I mean by that is it doesn't have a lot of other infrastructure. It's out in the middle of nowhere in a field. Although the track's really nice, the infrastructure is not there yet. I think it's an up and comer. Talking to the Wymans, Wyman brothers, Kyle and Travis, they both think it's a really nice track. And who knows? Maybe it'll eventually, be in the circuit or something like that. It's hard to say, but they seem to appreciate the track. And I've been on tracks before, and it was definitely, you could tell it was a newer track. So they had a big, huge tent set up. Obviously, they've got their, big semi truck tent off it where they have the bikes and all that. And so they had their own little setup, so to speak. You'll see that on the video, some different shots and drone shots and things like that. But inside this tent is when we show up. Again, I don't really know what to expect as far as what I'm going to get, but we immediately get access to the tent. Now, I will tell you, we were on a embargo. We were placed under embargo.
Just explain that so people understand what embargo is.
So, and the embargo lifted at March 1st is what it was. So basically it's a non-disclosure agreement. And they have you sign stuff, and we work with Harley too. We sign legal agreements, but some of this was verbal too. And we just have that respect. And they have a respect for our channel too. I never want to release information that they wouldn't want released, at a certain date. That's just a good business courtesy working relationship. So they know they really have nothing to worry with us here. But they wanted everything to release on the same day. So it was a big, they have their marketing reasons and all that. So there you go. That's what an embargo is. So basically keep your mouth shut until this, or there's legal ramifications, and we're going to, chop your head off or publicly hang you but you wouldn't want to do that. And they're really nice about it. So going in there, they didn't really know. I don't know that they've ever done this before. I won't say they haven't, but I haven't seen it. It seemed kind of new to them to give us access to practice. Like a lot of media gets access when they're actually at the races, because everybody's there. The media's there, but this was really a private. The teams need to focus on the bikes. And so I got to go and obviously we spend as much time as we want in the tent. 2 bikes and a backup bike, Kyle's bike, Travis's bike, and then a backup bike. Lots of team members, scurrying around. It kind of sucked for the riders down there. And we'll get into that story here in just a minute on, they went through some adversities while they were down on this track, and it wasn't the best. They still got plenty of practice, but it wasn't the best preseason. Again, I talked about weather, and we'll dive into that here in just a moment. Lurch, you want to do this?
Hey, bikeaholics, searching for a new and exciting motorcycle product? Zero 3D has the products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero 3D had a design team of riders with over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@zero3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
So the weather the night before had been crazy, as I discussed. And so the riders were really frustrated, and I think the entire team was a bit disappointed because they couldn't get out on the track. And the reason they couldn't get out on the track is because literally, okay, so let me stick with that thought, and then I'll tell you something else. But so it had mud across the track and water. And so obviously all the machinery had to get out there, and they were working feverishly to get the track dried. They've got big dryers and get the mud off the track. Now it gets worse because the day before, so I was down there on a Wednesday. I showed up on a Wednesday morning, and on Monday, they basically got some late laps in that rained all day, and they got some late laps in when it dried up a little bit. Then Tuesday, they completely got blown off the track. And it's not that they can't ride in wind. That's not the problem. The problem is there was vehicle size tumbleweeds literally out in the middle of nowhere, and that'll kill one of them at 100 and on those straightaways at 160, 70 miles an hour. These bikes are doing on the straightaways. Couldn't take the chance, and they were large tumbleweeds. There was a lot of remnants of tumbleweed action on Wednesday, even when we showed up. So they were just very frustrated, and they thought the track was dry, and then they found more mud on it. It was kind of a debacle as far as it comes to that. But the riders were trying to be patient, and the team was working on a whole bunch of stuff. Now, a couple things about, do you have anything, Lurch? Because I'm doing a lot of talking on this. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was your trip.
I know.
I'll ask.
I know you'll jump in.
Yep. I'll ask questions as we go along.
I'll just keep talking then. So
I think as we get into some of the stuff inside the tent and talking about that, I might have some questions. But the overall trip, man, that's all you.
Yep. All right. So I lost my train of thought on that.
The track and the dirt.
Yeah, the track and so I talked to I got an interview, and if you guys see the video, you'll see the interview I did with them, a short portion of it. Anyways, we talked for quite a while. But Jason Kale, he is the I'm not looking at my notes, but the manager of. He's the team leader of King of the Baggers and the manager of
Screaming Eagle.
Yeah, Screaming Eagle, but he's also the manager of engineering, is it?
Yeah, I'll look up his title. Hold on. We'll get it right.
No, it's right here. It's in my notes because it's actually different than what you'll find. Oh, we just searched Jason Kale. Do you see it? Can you look for it there?
Well, you said you had it.
Well, I don't. It's in our notes, bro. I don't have it on there.
Oh, when you said I
product development leader at Harley-Davidson Motor Company, but he's basically engineering is what I put. It's in the video too, but you get it. Screaming Eagle division, like Lurch says, and he's one of the head honchos. Basically, let's just call him a head honcho. Mm-hmm. But team leader for King of the Baggers. Now, Very educated guy, super smart. And so I got to talk to him. Now, one of the things you might not know, I'm just going to be honest here. I mean, I know about motorcycle racing, but I'm not like some guru on it. I definitely say I'm a guru now to a certain extent because I had to do a lot of research, and I just learned a whole bunch of things that I hope in my video and this podcast that I can expose you to, again, to give you a better understanding of what this sport is all about. Now, Jason, talking to him, this may be something you didn't know. I thought like Harley-Davidson's a big company and they've got a race team and they've got a ton of, well-paid people around their team. And I mean, they're just dumping coin into this thing because it's Harley-Davidson. Well, what we quickly learned, and this goes true for other teams too, is a lot of these folks are volunteering their time. Now, as far as the crew goes, obviously I don't know what kind of deal Travis and Kyle have, but obviously they're factory riders. So Harley's ponying up for them. Mm-hmm. But and there are a few paid positions, obviously Jason, there's some others, but for the most part, the overwhelming rest of the team, now they're Harley-Davidson employees and they work at different departments within Harley-Davidson, but they're literally not getting paid for it by Harley. It is a passion. This King of the Baggers is a passion project for them. And it is a lot of work and they're traveling, but these guys are literally giving up their personal time, their family time, not getting paid. I'm sure Hardy takes care of hotel and, hopefully they're taking care of all that, but that shocked me. I don't know if, that other people knew that. I don't think that's something that's commonly known.
I didn't know it, but it doesn't surprise me for a couple of reasons. I mean, these guys, what we've learned with the folks that work for Harley, they eat, breathe, and sleep motorcycles, and Harleys in particular. So it doesn't surprise me that they want to get involved and be part of that team. I mean, I wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. But it's also new. I mean, it's fairly new. This is like the third season, right? The fourth, technically.
Going into the third.
Going in the third.
The first wasn't a season. It was just a race.
One race. So technically it's the third season. And so it's getting some momentum. I think as it gains momentum and gains, dollars, once money starts flowing in from it, then they're going to be able to afford to, hopefully it continues and they can afford to bring people on full time. But right now, it's still kind of new. So you got a lot of people just volunteering their time. I did find Jason's full title. It's a mouthful. Yeah.
Did you find it on my video? It's because I wrote that because I had to ask him. So I had it on video.
I found it from the article. Which came out of the video. Manager of Engineering, Harley-Davidson, Screaming Eagle.
Yep.
This is full title.
Yep. I made that title up because that is his title, but it's weird when you look at other places, but I had to ask him on video. So I'm sure his title's changed over time. So there you go. But super smart guy. So these guys literally, it's a passion project, and a lot of them are, work in the Screaming Eagle portion of the company, and they just really want to push engineering and design to its limits, and this is their kind of way to do it. So,
which is really cool because these guys are building the factory bikes that we're riding. So they're out there on the track and they're finding out all kinds of neat stuff through the racing program that us regular riders are going to benefit from over time because they're going to be engineering new parts and finding things that work better. Yeah. So that's why I love this racing. Whether it's like NASCAR racing brought a lot of performance into stock cars, and now getting these. And there's been a lot. Obviously, there's been bike racing for a long time, but this King of the Bagger stuff is new. So I'm really excited about what they learn out on the track that they're going to then be able to use for the production bikes.
Yep. Well said. Back to, so just volunteering their time. And these guys are working straight up in the tent. And they're literally, a couple guys come out. I mean, what I want to say about these bikes is I got to spend a lot of time, a day. It wasn't a lot of time. And I was trying to film as much as I could and also take in, thank God I filmed a lot of it. Because when I was filming, I really wasn't looking that close because I was just trying to get like shots. I knew that if I had it on film, I could examine everything later. Right. And I didn't know what was going to come up next. And we did get moved a few times. Again, this is their world that we were in the tent. And we were very respectful. I was, and I know Block was too, about, getting out of the way, or am I in your way? And I'm trying to set up some time-lapse stuff. And, guys they don't know. but now they're standing up against the camera right in front of the lens because they don't even see it there. And it's just, they were focused on these bikes. And of course, there was whiteboards. Remember these teams, and I think me and Lurch talked about this. It's very competitive. And they didn't
you're fighting over grams and weight and seconds and time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they didn't want us to have, even though we were under an embargo, there's still some stuff even when the embargo was lifted. Now, this wasn't all detailed in the written one, but again, this is a respect thing because I was allowed into their world that I didn't want to violate anything. So I got a lot of things on film that I couldn't actually release to you guys just because I can't keep it out of the film. But when in edit, I could. And one, like a whiteboard with very specific information from their testing, laptop screens while they're tuning the bikes. So I
stuff that they don't want their competitors to see.
Right. Like you say, shaving off grams and I mean, that's part of the sport is who can make the better bike, who can make it a little bit lighter, who can come up with the new part that's going to win the race. And so I found out that, very good. So we started getting told stuff like that, like, oh, did you get any shots of that whiteboard yet? That can't go in any of your videos. And so it was quite when I had it at the end, because I talked to you after you picked me up from the airport, I was like, dude, I don't know how I'm going to edit this at all. I don't even know what I have. And I was very careful with this particular video about what we could show, but you got to see 90% of it. There's just some things that wouldn't mean anything to you anyways, but it might mean something to the Indian race team, So we were very respectful.
Or even one of the other, non-factory riders that's riding a Harley.
Yeah, right,
Because
exactly.
there are obviously there's other Harleys in there that the riders aren't sponsored by Harley-Davidson.
Yes.
They're an independent team, if you will.
Yep. And we'll hopefully, if we have time, we'll talk about some of that, the different teams and stuff like that. But true. Yeah. They don't want to give away any of that information. So, so I got as many shots as I could. And finally, I would say probably, what I wanted to say is these bikes are like, they're basically the reason I have a lot of respect for this sport. If you didn't know, Lurch alluded to it a little bit ago, but they're basically, there's a lot of different rules and things, what they can and can't do as far as mods. But in a nutshell, they're taking consumer baggers, just like you ride, just like Lurch rides the Road Glide or I, the Street Glide, consumer frames. That's what it has to start with. So they can't have like a completely modded, custom built frame. They take a stock frame and they're basically taking this entire bike and they are reverse engineering it. Now, I say it in my video and I'll say it here. Super bikes, what you guys think, sports bikes, so to speak, crotch rockets, things like that. Those track bikes were designed from the ground up to be on a high speed track and corner like crazy. They are designed that way from the ground up. Harley and Indian, for that matter, any of these race teams are taking a bike that was never, ever thought that it would be on a track. It was built for cruising and touring, and they are trying to make it so it is track worthy. And so it is really interesting to see the amount of, again, there are rules and certain things they can and can't do, but to see them take these bikes and make them into what they are, they're still amazingly not made for a track, because it's just, you would get a super bike if you wanted to, have a bike that was made for a track.
And I think that's what makes this series so interesting and fun to watch. Not just as a touring rider, but to see what they're doing with these bikes and how fast they're making them go. And if I've watched from the beginning, and if you haven't, I encourage you to go back. You can find a lot of the old races on YouTube or on Moto America, but they are definitely improving. They're getting faster and faster. It's impressive. You're right. They were definitely never made for it. And I think for me anyways, that's a bit of the allure to this series. I
don't think it's a bit. I think it is the lure.
It's what makes it amazing.
Yep.
And fun to watch.
Yeah.
And they sound cool.
They sound cool. Yeah, they do. My video, you can hear them, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well said, Lurch. And not just the speed, but the speed at which they're going around corners on a bagger, I think that's obviously what you meant. It's not only straightaways, but just to see that bagger and what these guys, and I say this in my video that and now Kyle, both of those guys ride super bikes. And I think it's Kyle that did flat track. And these guys have a huge motorcycle background. I don't know how much we're going to be able to get into the Wymans in this episode, but huge motorcycle background, super bikes. So these guys basically have to to a certain extent, retrain their brains to ride a bagger around a track that obviously has less lean angle and all kinds of stuff. These bikes are, modded out to try to make it so it is at least somewhat familiar to a super bike. But I honestly say that these guys are probably some of the best riders in the world because they're taking a completely, non-conventional race bike and they're trying to race on it. And so to do that, I think is a testament to their overall skill as well-rounded motorcycle riders. Cause I'm not sure that every, sports bike guy or super bike guy could come and get on a bagger and be as good as those guys. I think they're obviously a hands up because they're racers, but it takes a certain kind of racer to make this work, if you will. And so another video I did, we're going to do a podcast on it too. A couple other things that I want to mention that we did while we're down there. So the first is I did a complete and very thorough, this is all going to be in the show notes, guys, and they're already released on YouTube. So we released all that stuff before we did the podcast. But if you want to really, we're not going to get into the mods a lot in this podcast. If you want a detailed breakdown, like I did a walk around and I did a very thorough explanation of each part, each modification, a lot of what they can and can't do, what they're trying to accomplish, beautiful video shots of some of the parts, and I explain them. It's a complete and thorough walk around and breakdown with explanation of the actual 2023 version of the King of the Baggers. Number 33 is what I walked around. That's Kyle Wyman's bike. Travis is number 10. Now, even when I'm walking around, this bike wasn't completely done, but there was little aesthetic things like they were still waiting, it looked like, on the carbon fiber fairing, so it's got a plastic fairing. They were still waiting on carbon fiber bags, so it's got the plastic bags. But in general, all the mods and all that stuff, I explained to you. So check that video out. The other thing they announced while they were down there is, and we have a separate video on this too, if you're very interested in this, is Harley-Davidson released a brand new 135 cubic inch crate motor, performance crate motor. So they had the 131 before, now it's bumped up to a 135, and Jason Kale, who I already mentioned, actually goes over it. And I obviously have that on video and some of the parts and how they did that. Interestingly enough, in a nutshell, we're going to do a podcast on that combined with the parts and performance on the King of the Baggers bike. So look forward to that episode coming up. But both of those videos are out and they basically got 10% more horsepower, even though they only went up from 131 to 135. Usually I think he said usually it's a percent per, right? So if you go up 3 or 4, you're getting about 3% more horsepower.
And they went up 3%, but they got 10% in performance. Yeah.
Right. They went up not 3%, but 3 cubic inches, right? 4, because it's a 135.
Yeah, what he said in the video is they went up 3% in volume displacement of the motor, but they got 10% performance out of it. It's usually a 1-for-1.
A 1-for-1, yeah. So they really did some, and he explains it. He shows the pistons, he shows the intake and all that. And so check that video out.
All inspired by the King of the Baggers, and some of the parts that they're using on that were parts on their from their 131, like the intake and the throttle body and whatnot. So race tested.
Yeah, and he talks about that as they learned a lot out on the track that they can bring to the consumer, to us.
I wasn't
street legal.
I wasn't there, obviously you were. So not being there and watching that video, I really enjoyed that video and him going through and explaining all that. It's a good one to check out. Good
to know. So those 2 videos out, and I strongly encourage you to check those out. Now, Lurch,
yeah,
I think we need to do this right here. and then we got some more great content for you guys.
Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father and son team designed something special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep, these guys ride so they understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and securable with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use a Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Head on over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. lawabidingbiker.com/store.
Yep. I think that the guys should race with a Rick Rack on. That could be like a different race.
I'm sure that wouldn't grab any wind at all. I do like, and I've got the video up as we're talking along, so I can kind of keep track and whatnot. But I do like how you go from one of the Wyman brothers hauling ass around the track to my fat ass cruising down the road on my road glide.
Nice, dude. Because I'm comparing it to a street league or something. Yeah,
you're just talking about road glides and street version, and then there's me just sitting back with my
true racer right there.
Just racing,
just cruising hard, bro.
Oh, yeah,
just cruising. All right, so let's see. Where do we go from here, Lurch? Where do we go from here? Because we only got so much time. We're recording multiple podcasts today, but so. With that, you got something?
How was it running around the track in the car? Was it Travis? Travis, Kyle, which one rode you
Travis.
around? Travis rode you around in that Mustang, huh?
Yeah, good call.
It looked like a lot of fun. And it was kind of fun that you got to do that for the listeners or watchers, I should say, of the YouTube video. Got to learn a little bit more about him, that he actually is involved with car stuff as well.
Yeah.
He ripped that thing around
and
that
super
track.
bikes. Yeah, he did. It was fun.
It was fun to watch you kind of like stuck into the seat and kind of getting pushed back from
going around.
Bobbled around, yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like you were enjoying it.
I was. A lot of guys, he didn't know my background, so we didn't have a lot of time to talk as far as that goes. But we were still waiting for the track to dry, and it was around noon, and he's like, hey, you want to go for some hot laps on the track in a Mustang? And I'm like, well, hell yeah. Like, I ain't saying no to that. They just had one of the guys' Mustangs down there, and it was not like a special car or anything like that. But it was a great way to see the track. And again, I didn't know what was going to happen down there. That was not part of the deal, dude. That was not part of the deal.
They were probably just trying to find ways to get you footage and keep you entertained. And hey, hell, take them out on the track on the car.
And keep themselves entertained.
Yeah.
Last minute, I jumped in. Luckily, I had my 360 cam with me, and it was just I had gear everywhere and I just had to be ready for anything, and jumped in. Not the best audio, but I think I made the best of it. And I put some subtitles with it. That's just all I had time for. And so I got to see the Podium Club Racetrack, and he rips me around, obviously, and he does you'll see in that video, it's in our main King of the Baggers trip video, and you'll see me basically talk to him about a lot of the car stuff, race car stuff that he does. So very cool, very nice guy, very humble, very easy disposition, really fun to take those hot laps. And that's in the middle of the video or so. So check that out. We were still, again, waiting for the track to dry. Now, as you'll see while we're riding around in the Mustang, there's only one wet spot. But he even said, track's about ready. Even though it's wet, it's got some good grip. Kind of. We slid in a little bit, but
it sounded like he wore those tires down a little bit.
He did.
On that car.
They're not race tires, obviously.
No.
But he didn't know my background, so I didn't know if he thought I was going to be sick. Obviously, Block went in, and so Block was making some jokes when I got in, or like that he vomited or something. But I have been on racetracks. Me and Lurch have, obviously, career law enforcement. And so we get a lot of time in our police cars hauling ass, taking them to their limits. We've been on a few different tracks, nice tracks and stuff. And I also do high-speed training on my motorcycle, police motorcycle, instruct that. So tracks are nothing new to me. So it obviously didn't make me sick or even queasy. I'm used to that. I just basically had fun on the track and getting to see it in that manner. So I think it was right after that, we got the green light. And we started hearing the bikes fire up and hearing them run. And so they started getting out of the tent. And all day, I think the high it reached was like 52 or something. It was windy, cold, heated vest going. The sun was out a little bit, at least that. Guys went out on the track and started, running the crap. You'll see it on the video. I did get some drone shots. running the piss out of these bikes. And, you know, as you would expect, they didn't have a lot of time earlier in the week, so they were trying to make use of time. We only had the track till 5 this day, technically. That changed, but
they got pushed a little bit, didn't they?
Well, they asked for more time.
More time, yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see, you know, just the guys go around and race, and then sometimes they meet them trackside and they talk about stuff or hook a computer up, and then a lot of times they had to bring it back to the tent for if it's a little bit bigger stuff. But in the manner that these guys, you could tell, I'll just say this. I was in their world and I was allowed in there, and I'm so humbled by that. But there was stress because they had lost so much time this week. And, you know, again, something I didn't know, Lurch, is and maybe I'm stupid. I've learned a lot. I thought that they had a lot more practices. Like, I thought these guys were doing this like, oh, they've got tracks all the time, and they don't.
No,
they have limited.
You got to book tracks, and there's all kinds of people. But
I just thought, you know, full-time job. I don't know. Maybe it's common knowledge, but it's not to me. I guess I didn't think about it deep. Right. Like, I was thinking they were out on tracks like all the time, like months before they. But yeah, interesting. I don't know how many tracks they go to. Honestly, I didn't ask.
Oh, for testing
and practice. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they had a week there, and that was it. And I actually talked to them. They were hoping maybe they would get one more in before the season, hoping. So interesting. You know what I mean? Like, they only get so much time. And so they were, back to my point, you know, I could tell that they were stressed, and they were running around like crazy trying to alter parts and take rider feedback. And I know the riders were a little bit frustrated just because while they're working on the bikes, they can't be on the track. And it's this team by far, that's just tension in any company.
That's
natural, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's they're all concerned about doing their best and making the bike the best. And so there's going to be natural, you know, frustrations and tensions and everything that goes along with that, trying to be the best, you know?
Yeah.
That pressure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like high pressure. They want to do well.
Yeah.
This season, you know, or every season, obviously. So it was interesting to watch that and film it. I filmed obviously what I could for you guys and gave you that inside look. But they did get it to where they could get the track till 6. And once they got going on laps and got the bikes tweaked a bit, they were just running hot laps like over and over. And they finally got some serious riding at the end of the day. But it was, again, I didn't know what was set up for us or what I would actually get. It had been asked that I could get an interview with both riders, like a detailed interview. So I was kind of prepared for that, but it was the end of the day. I got Travis's in the Mustang. I knew that was as good as that was going to get. And I grabbed one at 6 p.m. The sun was going behind the hills. It was getting even colder. And Travis, I could tell, was tired. Kyle at the end of the day was tired. And I just went up to him, and they were trying to get us our interview, but we had dinner reservations at 6:30. I knew that too. Harley had for us. And I was just like, listen, I know you're tired. I just want to talk to you for just a minute. And I'll make this really quick. So I didn't get everything that I wanted, but I got enough to get a short interview. And that's obviously in my video that I did. And he was nice about it. Even though it was a stressful day and they were tired, he was super nice about it. He did a little one with Block 2, and it was good enough. It worked out. But by the end of the day, everybody was cold. Everybody was tired, ready to call it a day. I had film gear strewing about. I didn't even know if some of the stuff would even turn out. It was the most insane project that I've ever done. I would have liked to have 2 days on the track, would have been ideal. So I could go through and figure out whatever I didn't get and then key on it on the next day. But hey, opportunity is opportunity. And I took advantage of what I could with the equipment I had and time I had. I did the best I could. So hopefully the video, you guys enjoy it. I appreciate if you give it a watch, thumbs up, like it, share it, all that kind of stuff. I really think that King of the Baggers is obviously getting big. It's getting more popular.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now excited about it that I educated myself, and I think Harley kind of forced me to educate myself more about it because I take projects seriously and I wanted to know everything I could about it. I give a little history of it in the video. We're going to go over that here in a minute. Excuse me, man. My voice today.
It's that time of the year.
Man, I need a...
It's just been a lot of crud going around. I had it last week, feeling better now.
Yeah, just getting dry. Mm-hmm. My throat.
Which is weird because it's not dry outside.
No, it is not. As we tie this episode up, we're going to give you a little bit of a history, where we're at with wins and things like that, obviously, and a little bit of the team stuff. You alluded to it earlier, Lurch. You can talk about some of the other teams that are kind of involved in this and how that works. And I have some insight on that too. Mm-hmm. And give you guys maybe a look at the schedule and what's going on there, and then we will wrap it up. But we got plenty more to talk about, so stick with us here. You want to ride longer?
Yeah.
Well, treat your ass with some respect already, Lurch. Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials. And it's unlike those gall-darn gel pads that will leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around on your seat. Fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and yep, helps to dampen those gall-darn vibrations. I like that, gall-darn.
Gall-darn.
With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. I think the King of the Baggers guys should use a butt buffer, although they may not want to be sliding around on there.
Probably not. They like to be locked in
place. They like to be locked. Not any movement would probably be good. They're probably going so fast they can't even think about their sore and achy ass, I would imagine. They're just
concentrating on the road.
Balls to the wall. All right. So I'm going to do this off the top of my head. So brief history, if this is the cliff notes of the history of King of the Baggers.
Okay.
Basically, back in, it would have been October of 2020.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at the notes.
I'm looking at Lurch and he's looking at the notes. But I had to do all this film, so I think I got it. But back in 2020, they had a one weekend race. I believe there was 13 bikes.
That sounds right.
Obviously, Harley and Indian, Laguna Seca Raceway in California. And they kicked it off, and it was just a kind of a ragtag kind of deal.
My understanding was a bunch of industry folks that were all hanging out one night and maybe enjoying some beverages, and they came up with this crazy ass idea to do it.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
That's the way it's explained to me.
Yeah, you're right.
So then you had just one race, run what you run. Probably had some loose rules, you know.
Rules.
You watch that race, and then you watch these ones. The bikes look much more similar. You know, that was all just experimental. Let's see if this
probably more
cool.
Very street oriented baggers like we have. Like, let's see if we can make it work. Not heavily modded, right? Maybe some motors. But anyways, they did a race, Indian and Harleys, obviously. And out of that, it got a lot of publicity. I don't think that they expected that amount of eyes on it, and I don't think Harley-Davidson or Indian did as companies. And so it got very popular. So talking to Jason Kale about this, you would think that if it got that much notoriety, that Harley would be all over. Well, it was not that way. And I have it on, I had to keep the film kind of the video shorter. So I had to cut some stuff out, but that's why you have the podcast to hear stuff. But he basically said that he had to go, and they had to go to Harley, you know, whoever is on those boards, for whether they're going to be involved with racing. And he had to sell it to him, like PowerPoints and why they should do it. And if they could get some of the money for it and blah, blah, blah. And that's why these guys volunteered, because Harley still wasn't that much for it. In fact, Jason told me that a lot of the first bike they built, they did a lot of it in his garage. Like, again,
I'm looking at the first race here just as we're talking. And if you look at the bikes, a lot of the mid controls and stuff and raised bags are on there to give them the ground clearance. The fairings are stock fairings on these bikes, on this Indian, on this Street Glide, this Road Glide, minus the windshield, you know, so they hadn't really perfected it yet.
Yeah, I don't think it was going to take off.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched that first one. I'm going to go back and watch it. I think it'll be entertaining to see where they're at now versus where they started in 2020.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, Jason Cale, like I said, the first bike they kind of did in his garage, and they had to keep trying to sell it to Harley. They were like, okay, go ahead, but they weren't really backing it. And I don't think Indian was either. And then it got enough notoriety and they got the green light that's when it actually became a, what's the word I'm looking at? Circuit, or that's when Moto America picked it up and said, okay, we're actually going to make this a series of races and we're going to, give it the blessing. And so a league is what I was looking for, came into a league of racing. And that's when, it took off. And I believe the first season they had 3 races. It's gone up 3, and then 6, and now 7 this year? 7 tracks, 14 races. 14, sorry. Yep. So it's each year. So the first year, obviously it goes back and forth. Indian, Harley, as far as winning particular individual races, but overall champion in 2021, the first season of King of the Baggers, went to Kyle Wyman, factory rider for Harley-Davidson. Then it got even bigger in 2021 or 2022, and overall champion there, championship, even though he came second on the last race, he had the points, obviously to get it. And that's just how this works, is Tyler O'Hara of Indian Factory Racer. And it was neck and neck. And then, so this is third season. So they've each got one overall championship under their belt. And so going into 2023, it is fierce. If you guys have not seen one of these races, you need to watch it. Like, they're coming around corners, and you want to talk about bagger wobble?
Oh, yeah.
That's a different level of bagger wobble.
They come into the corner so hot that they're slowing down, that they get that ass end loose as they're slowing down. I mean, these are obviously talented riders that can ride that fast.
Right.
But it's impressive to watch them do what they're doing on those bikes.
And just seeing them fairing to fairing at a, so I appreciate the competition, go ahead.
And the cool thing about it is they're 8-lap races and there's no pit stops. If you break, you're out. So, I mean, they run the piss out from 8 laps. It's down and dirty and quick, and
I like that.
And entertaining. They're not going around like NASCAR,
That's why that bores me. Sorry, you NASCAR guys. That's why I get bored with NASCAR.
NASCAR, if you want to watch it, you watch the last 20 laps or whatever. The rest of it's okay, but it's not that entertaining unless somebody crashes.
It's kind of like the Super Bowl. Watch the last quarter. The rest of it is boring. They don't play till the last quarter.
With this series, it's 8 laps and they're racing the whole time. And they're racing hard. It's entertaining. I really enjoy it.
That's another reason that I think I'm so excited about it, is it's not like boring. Like a lot of racing it's just too long.
Yeah, it's like a half hour and you're done.
These guys are out like what we would expect. Buddies going out, kicking ass, taking names. Obviously there's multiple races so that they can get the overall championship points. But, I do want to say the old Harley versus Indian, thing, and these guys, Indian this and Harley this, and you guys, that's not what this is about. That's what I like about this sport and this grassroots thing. This is about a bunch of bikers. Whether Indian wins, whether Harley wins, they're all learning from each other. They're all pushing it.
And we all win as riders and consumers because they're pushing the bagger bike, the performance farther.
Right, exactly. And so I never look at it that way. Like some guys, that's why Indian's better, or that's why Harley's better. You guys, there are so many variables. That is not the way you choose which bike is better. That's just me. But the riders can have good days, bad days. The weather has a lot to do with it. So I don't care if Indian wins, or Harley wins or whatever, dude. It's fun to watch. And that doesn't really mean to me which bike is better on the street. That's just it's racing, guys. But some guys really get brand a little bit too brand loyal about it. And I think even Harley and the factory riders and even Tyler O'Hara, they get along really well. They're doing this for the love of it. Of course they want to win for their team. Otherwise it wouldn't be fun. But I think some of the people that I've heard talk stuff is a little bit more into it than even they are, as far, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, of course they want to win, but keep it fun, guys, is what I'm saying. This whole back and forth Harley, and if you can do it in fun, that's cool. I know a lot of guys do it in fun just to poke, and that's great. But I don't think that's really what it's about. I just want to see it regardless, which wins. they're pushing each other. They're pushing design, pushing performance. And we should all just love it for the sport and come together, not separate as bikers, even though it's two different companies. It should bring us together. We're running down on time, but you want to talk about some of the other teams and how that works?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, the two main bikes are Harley and Indian, but there are factory teams, and then I guess you call them private teams.
Privateers,
they're not they're not flying under the flag of the actual mothership. So some of them, you already mentioned the Wymans, and you mentioned Tyler O'Hara, and Jeremy Mick Williams is the other Indian factory rider. But then you got like the Vance and Hines team. They've got James Rispoli, Taylor Knapp.
And we know he's a great rider, James Rispoli. Yep. We know his dad fairly well just through motorcycle industry and parts and stuff, but super good rider, good flat track rider too.
Mm-hmm. And then another team is the Saddleman team, which they just announced they're going to go up by 2 riders. They've got Patricia Fernandez. Who, she's the lone female in that, they call her the queen of the baggers. She's not too hard on the eyeballs, gentlemen. Where's the other names? I got to go back.
If you don't have them, it's okay. Just generally speaking, the teams.
Okay, fine.
Vance and Hines runs a team.
Roland Sands.
Yeah, Roland Sands has a team.
So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And I will tell you that Harley-Davidson, I learned this. So all the Harleys in there, I don't know what Indian does, but Harley-Davidson supports those teams. So they have their 2 factory riders, which is Kyle and Travis Wyman. Those are obviously their head guys, and that's their team. But all the other Harleys that you see out there, they're actually supported. Harley supports them. They support them in parts. I found that out. So they want them out there. They support those teams, but not financially or anything like that. But they do support them with parts, and what that exactly entails, I don't know. But that was directly told to me down there, and that's public knowledge on the website too. If you want to start a team and you want to ride a Harley will support those teams to the best of their ability with parts. And so, you want to break down the races and where they're at? Or
I was just going to finish that one thought with Patricia Hernandez and Saddleman team.
He can't stop looking at her.
Corey West was the other rider that's been riding with her for Saddleman for a while, but they're going to be joined by Frankie Garcia and Jake Lewis, so we'll have a couple new racers.
Okay, good to know.
As far as the dates, actually, the day of this recording, this is March 6th. Not sure exactly when it's going to come out, but on March 9th, this weekend, the first race starts.
Yep. And while Lurch is looking up those, March, as far as this goes, guys, TV. Oh, sorry.
I found it. So it'll be at Daytona 200, Daytona Beach, Florida, March 9th to 11th. And then going down the rest, they're going to be in Georgia in April, Wisconsin in June, Salinas, California in July. And then towards the end of July, they'll be in Brainerd, Minnesota. September's Austin, Texas, and the end of September is Millville, New Jersey. So there's 7 tracks, but there'll be 14 total races this year.
Yep, because they race like Saturday and Sunday, I believe. So getting back to the way you watch this, guys, obviously we want to make it to a race at least this year. We're not sure with our schedule. It's freaking crazy. We were actually looking at it, me and Lurch, trying to make this work.
It's going to be tough.
But we got some other projects coming out, possibly with Harley-Davidson. So it's a little bit of a crazy year. Anyways, with that said, if you can't get to the races physically, the best place to go is motoamerica.com. And you can actually, you can get the Harley tickets there. There's VIP packages if you're going to be in person, but also there you can actually watch it. And it does cost, but the way I remember it without looking at it is you can actually just purchase per race the ones that you want, like for like a weekend pass. And then I think you can purchase the entire season so that you can just have access to it. We're going to purchase the season here so that, and it's a great way to get together. But probably not everyone, but the first one is this weekend, and maybe Lurch and I and any of the other guys that want to watch it together. It's a good reason to sit around, eat some potato chips, rock back a couple grogs and watch the race. And it's a way to get together and support your team, whether it's Indian or Harley. And at the end of the day, even if you had an Indian guy in there and a Harley guy, that'd be even funner because that would mean competition,
We get Indian John up here. We'll have one Indian guy in our group.
Yeah, no doubt. And we could get, he's a bit away, but Squirt.
Oh yeah, we can still get
Squirt's got an Indian Challenger
on the chat.
Yeah, there we go. Get them going in the chat. But it can be a way, just honestly, at the end of the day, as I wrap this up, I think it's good for the sport. I think it's very positive. I think it's going to bring more eyes. I think that maybe, motorcycle racing was a little bit stale. I don't know, because I didn't watch a lot of it. It's a lot of sports bikes, and not that I don't think that's fun and great, but it is something that's shaking up, if you will. It's shaking up an industry that maybe was a little bit stale. And there's a whole nother demographic of cruiser riders. And I think there's a lot of Harley guys and Indian guys, whether they're riding, cruising or touring, that didn't really watch traditional motorcycle racing, that now clearly have their eyes turned and go, okay, now what is this? That's my bagger out on the track, lightly speaking, what is this? These guys are crazy. These guys are getting bagger wobble around. These guys are pushing the limits. These bikes weren't meant to be out there. And all the other questions you can ask yourself that would make a whole nother, I think it's really open motorcycle racing back up. It is very good, if you look at Harley's history, to see them back in the racing game on the racetrack. Because at the end of the day, that is, good for the sport, good for the industry. They did come out. You want to talk about real quick? We just found out today, we're promoting it on our different social media channels, but Harley-Davidson did come out with a brand new documentary. It's a bit over an hour, definitely worth a watch. They actually released it while we were down in Arizona, but we didn't get to see it, just the riders and the team. Harley had been working on for a year. It's on the 2022 season, but it's kind of a little short. I wouldn't even say short. It's a documentary, an hour.
Yeah.
All about it. And it's on the Harley-Davidson main channel. It's definitely, we'll put it in the show notes too. It's definitely worth a watch. And
on the YouTube.
On the TubeU. Mm-hmm. And also, don't forget, we've got our main video, the King of the Baggers trip, and I give you a lot of what we talked about here, but in a more succinct package and a lot of visuals. Hopefully give you a good understanding of it. We got our 135 crate motor video out, if you want to know what that new crate motor is about, and then our complete walk around and explanation of a 2023 King of the Baggers bike. And God, I could keep talking about this, but
the more and more we talk about it and learn about it and watch it, the more excited I've gotten.
Yeah, we got to talk about this. Yeah, see what's going on this weekend, the 9th. I forgot it. It's coming up quick. But anyways, I got to pick up my daughter from school, and then we're going to come back and spit another podcast. But anyways, we love our patron members. We want you to become a patron member. We want to get you benefits. We want to get to know you better in the private Facebook group. Hey, if the only way you want to support us is through a flat donation, we're never bought at a flat donation. Lurch.
We'd like to thank Glenn Harmon of Independence, Missouri, Bob Nelson of Henderson, Nevada. He donated after asking us a question via email. Appreciate that, because it takes us time to get those answers for you. And Graham Dumbrell of Newcombe, Australia.
There you go. lawabidingbiker.com/donate is how they donated. We really appreciate it. It helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank so we
can keep this thing running on down the road.
There you go, guys. And also on the homepage of our website, there's a big donate button right by the patron membership button. So anytime you go to our homepage, you can hit it up there, guys. We really appreciate your guys' continued support. We're doing a lot of stuff. I just want to mention this. If you're not following us on YouTube, it's youtube.com/Ryan Erlacher. Doing stuff on Facebook.com, of course. Got the private group, but we have a public one too. That's not really a group, it's just a page, but that's at Law Abiding Biker. Of course, Instagram, blowing it up over there with the reels. We're growing fast over there. We do a lot of stuff over there that you won't see anything else. It's at Law Abiding Biker. Twitter, at Law Abiding Biker. Do some stuff there. We are on the Tickety Talk at Law Abiding Biker. Our crate motor, I did a 1-minute crate motor video, and it's got like 60,000 views now. So we are over, just exploring over there. We put out a lot of stuff. Follow us at Instagram. Follow us over on TikTok. Let us know what you think. We're kind of everywhere, guys. So hit us up. Follow us on all the different platforms. Oh, my voice.
Yeah, you'll need a little break. It'll be nice
to
get the daughter and give your voice a break and be ready for the next one.
No doubt. Hopefully you guys are excited about King of the Baggers. Let us know what you think. Comment on our video about King of the Baggers over there on YouTube, and kind of get inside look and see how many guys are following this. And hopefully if you were, like I say, up front, if you were ever on the fence or just didn't have the time to look into it, hopefully that was really my purpose of the video. And this podcast is just tell you what you need to know about it from a biker's perspective and why you should be excited about it. And I'll just end by saying that's exactly, Lurch said it is, and he's right, is we're only going to benefit from this because just like the crate motor that they came out with, the stuff they're testing out there on the track is a way for them to test stuff that they can bring to our actual street bikes in a different version, but they learn a ton. That's why I'm so excited to see them back in the racing game. It's pushing Harley-Davidson, it's pushing Indian, to different levels. And my prediction, I have no inside information on this at all, guys. I swear. But I think in the next couple years, Harley's going to come out with a more King of the Bagger style bike, yet street legal, yet a little more than like the Street Glide ST, a little more clearance, something that a weekend warrior racer could take out on the track and also ride on the street. Just my prediction. Again, I have I swear to you, inside information. I think that would be a smart move for Harley-Davidson. Thanks for listening.